What is going on, everybody? It's your boy Abdullah coming at you with another video for the channel. Welcome back to the Brown Boys Sports Talk. And then today, guys, we have Naeem again back on the channel. Naeem, how you doing, man?
Man, I'm doing good, bro. Back at it again, competing against Raza.
Raza, how
I
you
got
doing,
better
man?
things.
Doing good. We're excited to get Kyrie on the team.
Man, before we get in this video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe for more NFL and NBA content as we try to push out as much fire content out there as possible. And let's get straight to the video. What is going on, everybody? It's your boy Abdullah and your boy Raza. First things first, we are talking about the man, the myth, the legend, Kevin Durant, Slender Man himself. Raza, he requested a trade from the Brooklyn Nets a couple of days ago. Where do you see Kevin Durant going to? Where is his next chapter?
All right, man. This is just amazing. Like, this is crazy. Like, Kevin Durant just switching teams after like every 3 years. People saying he's not a leader. He's arguably like the best player right now. But according to sources, the teams that are linked up with him are the Raptors. But for that to happen, Brooklyn wants Scotty Barnes with either Fred VanVleet or Pascal Siakam, with OG Anunoby and picks, like 3 or 4 first-round picks. At that point, I don't even see like why KD would go there. He played with one All-Star and like role players. I don't see them like, obviously wherever KD goes, it's going to be a championship contending team. But I don't see like KD and another All-Star unless like a top 5 player. I don't see like Fred VanVleet and KD winning a championship. Same thing with the Phoenix Suns, actually, because they want to offer DeAndre Ayton, Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, and a few picks. But the Brooklyn Nets said, we want Devin Booker. And I don't blame them. Like, if you have the best player on the planet, if he wants out, you want to get everything you can for him, a young superstar in Devin Booker. DeAndre Ayton is a good player, but he ain't even close to Kevin Durant. So if Phoenix wants him, you got to give up D-Book, And same thing with Miami. Reports came out, as we all saw, that KD wants to play with Kyle Lowry, Jimmy Butler, and Bam. I don't see a trade between the Nets and Miami that's Tyler Hero, Duncan Robinson, and picks for KD. Like, it's Kevin Durant. That's not going to happen. So an underrated team for me is the Pelicans, because they can trade either Zion or BI with young superstar type of player, especially BI. Because Zion, we all know Zion can be a potential superstar, a great player if he stays healthy, But BI, we already know what he is. He's one of the young, best scoring people in the league. He's like the young KD, actually. Like, the way he plays is similar, So BI, Herbert Jones, Jose Alvarado,
CJ McCollum,
Dyson Daniels, and 4 first-round picks for KD. If he goes there, KD can still play with Zion, CJ McCollum, Jonas Valanciunas. That looks a pretty solid team, more than solid. That looks like a top 5-3 team in the league. Or you can just go back to Golden State, Young play. They have Andrew Wiggins to make up the contract. They have Kuminga, Moody, Wiseman. They have a lot of picks. He can just go back, but that's not going to happen, obviously. So my sleeper team is obviously the Pelicans, because they have what it takes to land a Kevin Durant. We also saw Minnesota trying to land Kevin Durant, but KD didn't want to be in Minnesota, and the Nets were asking. Sean Marks was asking for Anthony Edwards or Karl Anthony Towns. They obviously extended Cat to a $214 million over 5 years contract, max contract. And they don't want to trade Anthony Edwards, which is understandable. He's so young and one of the best young players, a top 3 young player in the league. He has potential superstar stardom. So I understand that, but Pelicans, I think, underdog to land KD.
Name, what do you think, bro?
I don't know why he made it so complicated. There's only one spot for my favorite player of all time, Kevin Durant. He's coming to DC. He's coming back home. No, I'm kidding. I mean, I would have loved it. But yeah, after we re-signed Brad to that crazy deal, there's no chance. To me, KD, I would love him on the Suns. But the deal that's been going around is Mikal Bridges and DeAndre Ayton for and then also a bunch of first round picks. Him, Booker, and Paul would be, bro, that'd be crazy. And that team in Golden State would be a great series. But at this point, it's gonna be tough because whatever team trades for him, it's a huge risk. Even though KD is like top 2, top 3 best players in the league, bro, he's up there in age, and you're giving up a lot. Like you're giving up some of your best players on that team, and then you're getting up some of your future. So it's tough. And then we've seen how KD and Kyrie didn't work. So if that can't work, like there's a lot that like it's a lot of questions. Like could Devin Booker and KD work? So, but I would love to see him on the Suns.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. With all that being said, I think all those teams, the number one team, I feel like that he will go there is the Miami Heat. With the Miami Heat, I think they just Pat Riley, all those young gems that he has. I think it's finally time where you just package them together, and maybe you have to send Bam Adebayo. But at the end of the day, Jimmy Butler and KD would be a nasty duo, and I think that would separate them with the rest of from the Eastern Conference. And Miami, man, I mean, also who wouldn't want to go to Miami? It's Miami Heat, you know. But moving on to the next segment, which correlates with Kevin Durant. Our boy Kyrie Irving, the brother himself, always in headlines and everything.
Kyrie on the way.
Kyrie is supposedly trying to force his way into the Los Angeles Lakers team. Raza, do you think this trade goes through with somehow Russell Westbrook coming to Brooklyn?
Yeah, so before I wanted to add on one thing. If Rudy Gobert is going for 5 first-round picks, what the hell is Kevin Durant going for? Like 12?
A lot. Maybe like 40.
12. All right, coming back to the point, Kyrie Irving. So we saw a report by Chris Haynes in the afternoon that the Lakers and the Nets are supposedly talking a deal centered around Russell Westbrook from our side and Kyrie from their side. But Kyrie is making 36 million, Russ is making 47. The contract don't match up. So the Nets, here comes like the tricky part. The Nets want to give us Joe Harris to make up the money. But Joe Harris is injury prone. He's still coming off an injury, his left ankle. He just got a surgery on that, like a couple of weeks ago, actually. So he's supposed to be back by training camp, but he's injury prone, to say the least. The Lakers want Seth Curry and Kyrie Irving for Russell Westbrook and like a future first round pick. The Nets, basically, the Lakers and the Nets are talking about the draft compensation, whether it's going to be a first round pick or multiple first round picks. We have 2027 and 2029, and we can swap picks always. So they want multiple. We don't want to give up more than one in the future, since LeBron's going to be gone, AD's injury prone, we never know what's going to happen, like 9 years from now, or 8 years, whatever. So they want to give us Joe Harris and Kyrie for Russell Westbrook, a pick, or like more than one pick, like multiple picks. But we want Seth Curry, because he's on a 1-year deal, $8 million. Joe Harris is on a 2-year deal, $18 million per year. So that's $36 million. We still owe him if we get him, and he's injury prone, and he's injured. He's not going to be back on the court till training camp. So the Lakers want Seth Curry, and they're like coming. They're still talking on like what happens, but I would love to see that happen. I think at least like it's gonna put us at like a contending like spot. I won't say that we're gonna win it all, but we'll have a good chance, a way better chance than Russell Westbrook and LeBron and AD. With Kyrie, LeBron.
Name.
All right, so this kind of brings me back to the KD point. I had a fun idea of KD and Westbrook reuniting in OKC. So the whole plan was, right, if KD and Kyrie, you know how like OKC has a bunch of picks. They have like 17 in the next 7 years, something like that. So my idea was behind this, like KD and Kyrie still want to play together, right? They still want to play together. So they could both get traded to OKC for a bunch of picks. And then Kyrie gets traded to Los Angeles for Westbrook. And you got LeBron and Kyrie back together. And you got KD and Westbrook back together. But let's be honest, that's not happening. So Kyrie to LA, Westbrook. It's almost a given now. Kyrie's forcing his way there. It's just a matter of time. The package is looking like Westbrook, Taylor Horn Tucker. I don't think it's just gonna be one first round pick. I think they might toss in 2, maybe 3. But yeah, KD and Kyrie are definitely gonna split up, and then that big three of Kyrie, LeBron, and AD. I still have I still don't think that big three beats Golden State because like I expect AD to miss games in the playoffs, regular season, wherever it is. I expect him to miss games because that brother cannot walk, he cannot run, he cannot sit, he cannot take a bath, he can't do nothing.
Can't breathe.
So yeah, I expect that, and then the Warriors' depth is just top tier.
However, they did lose people in the offseason to Golden State Warriors.
Yeah, I lost Gary Payton and Otto Porter, which is big. That's not like little.
And JTA, man, who wants to start Anderson, Lakers.
He was a talker. I mean, he didn't get no minutes. But yeah, GP is a big loss. Otto Porter is a sniper. That's a big loss. So, but they get Wiseman back over the summer. They could develop Kuminga and Moody. Don't forget about Moses Moody, which I really like.
And if DiVincenzo, Dante DiVincenzo.
Dante DiVincenzo was such a good signing. That was such a good signing. Yeah, I still don't think Kyrie, LeBron, like I guess you could say healthy AD. That man is never healthy. You can never say that. I still don't think that team beats Golden State, but I mean it's better than with Westbrook. So yeah,
I agree. I think Kyrie is on its way. It's inevitable at this point. He has made it clear, and I don't know, man. I think that team is better than LA. I mean, than the Golden State Warriors because it's LeBron James, man. I mean, you can't bet against him when he has actually a good team around him. But moving on to something that I want to talk about with KD and Kyrie before we talk about ownership around the league with small markets. I think one thing that needs to be pointed out, and I love Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving, superstar players, obviously all-time greats. But something that needs to be pointed out is that they wanted to leave those teams originally, like the Golden State Warriors, the Boston Celtics, Cleveland Cavaliers, to prove that they can lead a team and be a winner. Well, Golden State just won a championship, and Kevin Durant couldn't even make the Eastern Conference Finals. Kyrie, I mean, I don't know where it begins with him. It's just they literally clowned themselves, and now Kevin Durant. I mean, you guys saw the New York Times Post headlines. They were going crazy. This man robbed us and blew away Brooklyn's future and sacrificed it. And now Kyrie Irving just finds with it. I'm not saying Kyrie Irving is a cancer, but at the end of the day, you left those teams to prove that you're something, and it just makes you look bad. So I don't know what you guys' thoughts on that.
Yeah, I'm completely with you. They gave up everything. Imagine, I would do that if the Nets had the chance to do it again. I'll bet you they would do that again. Kevin Durant is arguably the best player on the planet. Kyrie, I don't know if anyone ever has like the talent that he has. Like he's absolutely amazing. Those two, and then you get James Harden, MVP, like all NBA type of player, point guard, leading like assists and stuff. Who wouldn't do that? They gave up D'Lo, Spencer Dinwiddie, Karis LeVert, Jared Allen, all their young players, all their picks. They even hired a new coach, Steve Nash, who never coached like a single game in the NBA. They hired him, although Kyrie said we don't need a coach. They did all that for them. And now 3 years later, they did not even make it past the second round. That's like so crazy, man, to think about. That was only 3 years ago. I still remember vividly the day James Harden went there. I was like, they're about to three-peat or something. Something crazy about to happen. But, they didn't even go to the finals, let alone finals, Eastern Conference.
Yeah, the biggest what-if team, in my opinion, in history.
Oh, yeah. That is. Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, I completely agree with you as much as, like, if that was to happen with the Wizards, like, I'd be devastated as much as, like, it's happening around the league. But, like, I guess
imagine the Knicks.
No, the Knicks. Yeah. Why are we talking about the Knicks? Yeah, like, Kyrie and KD, like the Nets' future, like it's gone. Like they were there for like a rental purposes, and the second round was the best they can do. And Kyrie wasn't even playing. Kyrie with the Corona only played like 40 games. Yeah, like I don't know how the Nets rebound from this, but like looking at other teams, like you got other players trying to just push their way out. Like eventually Kawhi and PG are going to do the same thing. I don't expect them to win anything in LA, even with John Wall there. As much as I love John Wall, I don't expect them to win anything. and I expect them to do the same thing. I expect them to push their way out. So yeah, at this point, it's inevitable what the star players can do with your value, like how good you are with. It comes with a lot of perks, and like you can't do anything about it. If your star player doesn't want to play, you can't pay him 50 million or whatever, and have him just sit on the bench and just run your team like that. You're gonna have to get rid of him. So like, it's tough, but it's just how cookie crumbles.
Mm-hmm. I wanted to talk to you guys about ownership. Raza, there's just so many times in the NBA where we've seen guys in small markets that love and want to leave that team, even though so much money is thrown at them. And it's a toxic environment that leads up to them eventually leaving. We've seen it with superstars like James Harden, like LeBron James leaving Cleveland. I don't know if it's the front office where they just don't surround them with talent, or if it's just the guy himself that just can't win. I just some people might label it as a weak move, but the other side is saying that they're just trying to win. So what's your thoughts on that, guys?
Yeah, I think it's crazy how like I love superstar players having like control of themselves and like where they go and stuff, where they want to play, like who they want to play with, like having the control over the team and stuff. I love that. But like superstar players like AD demanded a trade, James Harden, uh, multiple like Ben Simmons did the same thing. You know, they had like KD still has 4 years left on his deal. Ben Simmons had 3 years. Harden had like 2 years. AD was his last year, but it was inevitable. He was gonna come to LA. So, but still, like I don't think it's the team. Like they throw all the money at them. Like we saw with the Pelicans throwing all the money at Zion. It's like they have no other choice. You know, you would rather pay a man who's I know Zion's like injury prone and stuff, but you would rather pay him than like lose him for nothing. You know, even if it's like an overpay and even if he's not playing, he's too valuable to like lose for anything. Same thing goes for like Ben Simmons and like all the other players. You know, you can't just lose them, so you gotta pay them, give them control, and it's inevitable if they don't like a thing. You know, look at what we just talked about. What the Nets did for KD and Kyrie. They like sold the whole like farm. You know, they did everything they wanted. And what's happening after 3 years? They KD and Kyrie didn't do anything for them. Did they get sent to the NBA Finals? No, no rings, no NBA Final appearances, no Eastern Conference final appearances. They couldn't even get out the second round. So you know, it's interesting to see what happens. You know, I think owners got to get together and like you know make something up. You know, like a plan or something that does not allow like players this much control. I love players having control, but they can't just leave their situation to go like ring chase or team up with another you know player that they like or a city they like.
Yeah, as much as the owners, as much as we could blame the players, the owners too. Like if you look at the '80s situation, that man gave his all for how many years? Like
Like
four or
eight.
five? I don't even remember. Maybe
Oh, it's
even
the
like
80.
he said eight. Like I don't even remember how many years. Like he was like a top five player that whole time, and like all those years, the owners and management didn't surround him with talent. So at that point, can you really blame him for asking out? Like at that point, you're a human. You want to win. You're an NBA player. You want to win something. If the team's not helping you out, then like you'd want to leave. So like those type of stuff you can't blame, but that just puts in perspective. Like if you throw the Warriors, right? Steph, Clay, Draymond, all drafted, no traded, no nothing. Like it's just something rare to see. You like that's just something hard to do too. So like you gotta give props to Golden State for that. Like you can just see how hard it is to like completely draft a team and build it from the top. You just see all owners and teams is going for the star players immediately, giving them all their future. I think some people just need to take a step back and just take the long road, get the picks like OKC does, and just develop the team that way.
No, I completely agree, guys. Hopefully it's something that owners look into in the future and talk about it more. But moving on to another blockbuster trade, Rudy Gobert is now a Minnesota Timberwolves. So many, I think it was 4 first-round picks, Patrick Beverly, Malik Beasley, and it was a lot. Who do you think won the trade, guys? And will this help Minnesota become a contender? Are they a contender?
I think all this depends on how Anthony Edwards. If Anthony Edwards turns out to be like a top like 10 player in the league, like a superstar player, I can see this working out. You know, because we remember last year Cat played the 4 anyways because Jared Vanderbilt, who got traded to the Utah Jazz, he played the 5. You know, he guarded the most of the big men. You know, unless it was like Joel or Jokic, you know, the top with the top. You know, but Cat was playing the 4. Cat loves to like shoot, like play like, you know, beyond the arc and stuff. You know, and Rudy Gobert, you know, he's a rim protector, 3-time Defensive Player of the Year. With all of that being said, I think they overpaid way too much. You know, 4 picks with like 4 players, young players, and a pick swap. The 4 picks are unprotected. So whatever pick it is, they get it. It's no protection on it. So like, it's crazy to me. It's baffling to me how like Minnesota. I mean, if it turns out to be good for them, they go to like the NBA Finals or like something crazy happens. I mean, we all look stupid. But if it does not happen, they gave up a pick in 2029 and one in 2030. Bro, that's 8 years from now. We're going to be like 26, 25, bro. That's crazy. Like, I don't know, man. It depends on how Anthony Edwards turns out to be. And they had the KD trade on the table if they traded either Cat or Anthony Edwards, but they opted in for Rudy Gobert. And we got sources also told, we saw reports that if the Rudy Gobert trade didn't go down, they were going to go for either Capella or like a low maintenance kind of a center like Capella or someone like that, you know. I would have preferred Clint Capella because that would not have like cost you like 4 first-round picks a swap, you know. Maybe like 1 first-round, maybe at most 2 first-round picks for Capella. Probably just 1. And Capella, like, no disrespect to Rudy, but like Rudy is like making like $40 million a year. Like, he's unplayable, you know, in the playoffs sometimes, you know. But it's like I always wanted to see Rudy Gobert with like better like surrounded defense, you know, because with the Utah Jazz, other than Royce O'Neal and sometimes Bogdanovich, they had no like Donovan and Mike Conley, like their guards, the backcourt didn't defend well. So I was hoping when Minnesota gets him, it's gonna be like some defense around Rudy Gobert because Rudy Gobert by himself is like a top he makes the whole team like a top 5 defending team in the league the way he plays. But they traded away Pat Bev and Jared Vanderbilt. Like, those are their 2 best defenders. Anthony Edwards has, like, he can be a great defender. He has the length and stuff. But then D'Angelo Russell, you know, he's making $30 million. He's a free agent next summer. So he's an expiring contract. Interesting to see what they do with him, you know, whether they sign him again, whether they trade him, or whether they sign. I think they're going to sign him to, like, a more team-friendly contract. Like more of like a $15-16 million contract, not like a $30 million. $30 million, that's way too much money for like a third option player, you know, $30 million. But you know, interesting to see what happens. And Cat also got a max, so they're all in, you know. The owner, who's the owner, Abdullah? A-Rod. A-Rod said, "We are all in. Now is the time. If now is not the time, when is the time?" So they're going all in. They have potentially a big 4. I don't see it working out though.
Name?
Yeah, I like how you brought up the big 4 at the end. Yeah, I was about to say the X factor of this might be D'Angelo Russell. If he plans to stay, I feel like let's see if he leaves, right? I feel like that team even with AE, Cat, and Rudy Gobert, I feel like they're missing a facilitator, right? Because I feel like Anthony Edwards, like as great of a scorer he is, he's not really like up there with like facilitating offense. I feel like with Cat and Gobert, someone's got to give him the ball. You can't just have Gobert like sit like short corner or low post or like even corner. Like he's gonna have to like eventually like he's gonna have to get a bucket. Like someone's gonna have to help him get a bucket, like a lob or something.
Right.
And I don't know if AE is that guy. If D'Angelo Russell stays, he can definitely do that. But I don't think he's gonna end up staying. But yeah, like Gobert and Towns, that's the one thing. Like the offense is just not gonna be as good as people think. I don't know where Gobert would be on the court at all. And as much as you have Towns on the perimeter, I don't know how. Then that just causes more problems. Like for Anthony Edwards, who's a great finisher. So and then you also got Golden State as the main team in the West. As much as I'm bringing up Golden State in this video, Golden State is the main team to beat for anybody. They're the favorites to repeat. So if they play small ball and you play that against Minnesota, I favor Golden State chances 10 out of 10. I don't know how Timberwolves would deal with that, but I mean they did it. It was a lot to give up, but I guess we just see what happens. But I don't like the trade at all.
I agree. It is somewhat risky. Utah, they're getting prepared for their future. Minnesota sacrificed a lot, but it better pay off because the fans have nothing else to, because last year the whole drama with or this the funny aspect of how they were celebrating after beating the Clippers in the play-in. So hopefully they'll actually celebrate and winning a playoff series because that would be
Remember
really
Pat
nice.
Bev throwing the jersey, and
Yeah,
now he gets
Bev
traded.
They
throwing it.
traded.
It
He gave
just,
so much. He gave so much energy. They just traded him off.
yeah. So hopefully this works out. But let's talk about it through the different perspective, the other side, the Utah Jazz. Where do they go here from now? And are they rebuilding? Do they trade oh my god, I forgot his name.
Donovan Mitchell.
Donovan Mitchell. What do they do, Raza?
I think they're in an interesting spot. We all wanted them to like not blow it up, but like trade. They couldn't keep both of them. Like we all knew they're not going well with each other. They're not like friends. They're not like best friends. Like we all know Donovan does not even throw the ball to Rudy for a dunk. That's like he averages like 1 assist a game to Rudy. That's like the least to like any like guard to a center in the entire NBA. That's crazy to think about that they both are all stars and that's happening. But obviously they made the right choice. Donovan is the better player, younger player, better player, like more of like a dynamic player. He has a shoe deal. He's like big market type of player, way better player than Rudy Gobert. Although Rudy is like a 3-time defensive player of the year, but still like Donovan is like more marketable, than Rudy Gobert. So and with D Wade as one of the owners, D Wade could be like a mentor to Donovan. So it'll be interesting because they got 6 first-round picks in the last like 48 hours. So it'll be interesting. They traded away Royce O'Neal to the Nets for a first-round pick before KD's news came out that he requested a trade. So it'll be interesting. They got Wesley Walker, a first-round pick, 22nd overall pick for the Minnesota Timberwolves in the trade. So that's their only center they have. I think they're gonna blow it up completely by either trading Jordan Clarkson and Bogdan Bogdanovic. If Royce O'Neal can get you a first round pick, Jordan Clarkson and Bogdanovic can definitely get you first round picks. So either you do that and then you completely rebuild around Donovan, or you just completely like rebuild. You trade Donovan to like Miami or somebody, whoever wants him, whoever like. I would love to see Tyler Hero and Duncan Robinson and like 4 first round picks for Donovan. That'll be interesting to see Tyler with like the main guy on the team, not a 6-man, and the Miami Heat need scoring, whenever like they're in the playoffs, Jimmy gets buckets, but he's inconsistent in the playoffs, he can go get you like 37, 38, but next game he'll get you like 14,
He's so tired from playing the other game, no one else is helping him out.
And then we all know about Bam, some games he'll put up like 11 points. Bam is so talented, but he's not aggressive. Same thing with AD, he's similar mindset like him. And then Kyle Lowry, we all saw he had an injury and he was kind of out of shape, like last part of the season and into the playoffs. So I would love to see Donovan on Miami, but it'll be interesting to see what Utah does from now. Do they trade Jordan Clarkson and Bogdanovic and Donovan and build like a rebuild, like completely rebuild, or do they like retool around Donovan with like younger, like more athletic players? But if they keep him, I can see this blowing up in their face. And like after like 2 months of the season, Donovan, like since Donovan came into the league with the Jazz, he's always been a winning player. They never lose in the like. They're a winning team in the regular season, So if they don't win like the first couple of months, they're like a 500 team. Donovan's gonna be like, I'm tired of losing, man. I'm not a loser, I always win. So he might demand a trade or something. So it'll be interesting to see how it happens,
Yeah.
So yeah, I see the Jazz doing one or two things. I agree with Roz's point on Tyler Hero, Bam. I feel like they could use those first round picks to get some like Tyler, Bam, like get some more pieces around him now. Or I don't know how their salary cap situation is. I could see them using this year as let's just get some role players, let's get some decent guys around Donovan and just play as much as we can this year. Maybe make the play and get the 8th seed. And then I feel like they could be big contenders in the next year's market. I don't know who it is in next year's market, but they could be doing that. It'd be a good idea too to do that. I don't think they would just blow it up by trading Clarkson and Bogdanovic this year, because if they do that, I don't know how they would expect Donovan to stay on the team and not request a trade. But there was a report today that came out. They they don't want to trade Donovan at all. They're actually declining every call that has Donovan in it, and they want Donovan to be the cornerstone of the team. So that leads me towards they might just use this year as like a gauge year. They might gauge how where they're at right now, get some expiring deals, maybe 1-year contracts, and then be big contenders in next year's market.
I agree. I don't think he'll get traded. I think this is the Utah Jazz are saying this is our guy. Let's put something around him. And if it doesn't go well this year, then I think they're gonna finally cut ties with him. But Donovan Mitchell to Miami would be very interesting. Can you make him and Jimmy Butler a duo, an explosive duo? Would be a fun duo down there in South Beach. So I can't wait to see what Donovan Mitchell does this upcoming season when he's by himself, and maybe a fantasy sleeper because he's just by himself, the one that's just having the ball, you know. But moving on to the summer league, the NBA, the Lakers. Sharif O'Neal scored a bucket. Keegan Murray went off. Raza, what's your thoughts so far?
Bro, we finally won a game, man. I know it's summer league. I'm excited to see my team win by 40 points. You know, I hope this continues throughout the summer league, like the way we did like 3 years ago when it was cool. Bi, Josh Harden in the summer league.
Lonzo.
So I hope something like that happens. But I hope this continues into the regular season with Kyrie, LeBron, and AD. You know what I'm saying?
Name.
Yeah, you can see the desperate Laker fan. Like he just taking whatever he can get, like a summer league win. But yeah, I guess it was nice. I mean, they did what they did. I was just watching for Sharif O'Neal and like Mac McClung, Scottie Pippen Jr. But yeah, they didn't do anything crazy, so it was a decent game. The game I want to bring up was Keegan Murray going off in that Warriors game. Keegan Murray shot very efficiently and ended up with 26 points and I think 8 boards, 0 turnovers. Man, that's nice. That's nice. And Raza also brought that up that he was the most NBA ready player, so I got to give him credit for that.
Check the receipts.
He's looking like it.
Yeah, give credit where credit is due. Yeah, I mean the summer league. I can't wait to see what the Wizards do. But as of now, it's good to see young guys out there just ball out. Hopefully, they can show out and just prove to everyone why they were drafted. Why weren't they drafted more higher and just sleepers? So I can't wait to see when all the other teams are playing. Jaden Ivey and Johnny Davis are playing really soon, and that's something to keep an eye on. So
talking about Jaden Ivey and Keegan Murray could be a big controversy in the years. What if Keegan Murray becomes a star level player and Jaden Ivey flops?
Like
everyone was clowning Sacramento for not taking Ivey.
Sort of like with DeAndre Ayton and Luka Doncic.
Yeah. I mean, it's only one game though. It's not.
Yeah. It's a summer league, so we got to see. We have time. And lastly, we want to talk about the UVA stud Malcolm Brogdon traded to the Boston Celtics for Daniel Tice, Neesmith, and 1 first-round pick. What the heck are the Pacers thinking? That was a highway robbery. I've seen worse trade offers from Raza on fantasy than the Boston Celtics.
At 3 a.m.
Oh my God.
Raza, what went wrong with the Pacers in this?
Okay, so I can see it both ways. Obviously, the Celtics clearly won the trade. They gave up like 5 young, like it was Aaron Neesmith, Daniel Tice, Morgan, 2 more players who are like young, but they're not rotational players. And they get a Malcolm Brogdon, who before he went to Indiana with the Bucks, he was like one of the best role players in the league. Mind you, he won Rookie of the Year. He was 50, 40, 90 with the Bucks, playing with Giannis Antetokounmpo and Chris Middleton and Eric Bledsoe. Before Drew Holiday got there, obviously. And he signed a big deal with Indiana. I can see what Indiana's trying to do. They took a chance at like Aaron Neesmith, who was playing like 12 minutes a game. And, they got a first-round pick out of it too. And Daniel Tice just made up the money. So that's not a big deal. But I can see where they're going, full rebuild. I think that in like a couple of days, they might even trade Miles Turner for like a pick. So everyone out here, if you want your team to get a player from Indiana, they basically want like 2 young players and a pick. That's what we saw with DeMontis Sabonis. That's what we saw with Brogdon. That's what we're gonna see with Turner, I think. So I can see why they would do that. And I'm rooting for them. As I love Tyrese Halliburton. I think he's a potential superstar in the league. He can
I'm gonna bring him up.
he can do everything he can facilitate, he can score, he can rebound. His shot's like a little bit, different than
Falls
anyone
though. It
else.
falls.
It falls though, so I'm excited to see what happens there.
Name.
Yeah, I was gonna bring up Tyrese Halliburton. Like, I feel so bad for him. He has to deal with the Sacramento Kings and now the rebuilding Indiana Pacers. The Indiana Pacers might just be taking for Victor Wembanyama at this point. But yeah, I thought it was an absolute please. The Celtics get a much needed facilitator. As much as I love Marcus Smart, he's a 3-and-D guard at that. But he has some facilitate. Like he be getting up there with the assists. But like Malcolm Brogdon is 50, 40, 90. He can score. He's an all right defender. He has good length. Yeah, he can facilitate. Man, that team, the Celtics they're looking like they're not going anywhere. Every year to me, I mean, the Milwaukee Bucks are the favorite every year to me in that East. But yeah, the Celtics got that much better. Prayers up for Tyrese Halliburton. I hope he gets traded somewhere, please.
No, I agree. I feel bad for our boy Tyrese. But one thing that I do want to talk about, does Malcolm Brogdon put Boston up there as the number one team in the Eastern Conference projection?
For sure.
Over Milwaukee.
Even though I just said Milwaukee should be the favorites, man, that's tough. So like, as much as I love Giannis and he can carry any team in the freaking league, the Celtics, man, I like that Malcolm Brogdon, and they give up players that don't even get minutes. Tice doesn't even get any minutes, and when he did, he wasn't even that good. Neesmith, I don't even remember the third player at this point. And a first round pick at this point, they don't need that first round pick because they're title contenders. Like in the near future with Brown and Tatum, so I see it as a fleece on Boston's side. I guess I can see what Indiana tried to do. They took a big risk. Maybe Neesmith turns out to be something. That first round pick, maybe they do great things with that. But yeah, that Celtics team, yeah, I mean, they're top two, maybe top three. I mean, I don't see them in Milwaukee, and then maybe I guess Miami.
Awesome.
Yeah, I like it for the Celtics. As I said before, they get a true point guard because, as Name said, Marcus Smart is not a true point guard. He's like a shooting guard who's like defensive player of the year caliber, as we saw last year. But he's not a facilitator. Like I said before, like free agency and stuff started. They need like a true point guard, like a John Wall, like if they could find him. Because when last season began, they had Dennis Schroeder on the roster. I'm pretty sure Dennis Schroeder is not a facilitator. He's a good player. He's like more of like a 6-man scoring type of guy. They needed like a true like a prime Rajon Rondo type of a player. Like a facilitator. So I think they get that in Malcolm Brogdon, who's really efficient. He can score. He was all NBA like defensively 3 years ago. He's really, really good. And does it like make him like top, like the best team in the East? I don't think so because the Bucks, as Name said, Giannis is the best player on the planet. And last year, don't forget, Middleton was hurt. That's why they
went to
lost
7 games too.
Yes, and Boston, I think, like I'm gonna give them credit where it's due. Like they went to the finals. But they beat a Brooklyn Nets team they had their situation going on with Kyrie, no vaccination. KD, I don't know where his mind was. Ben Simmons just came in. No one knew if he's going to play or not. They beat the Celtics, who Celtics beat the Bucks with no Middleton, and Drew Holiday was kind of struggling. And then they beat Miami in Game 7. Jimmy had the tying 3 over Al Horford, but he missed it. So anything, it could have gone different, but it didn't. So I mean, I want to give credit where it's due. So Boston, kudos to them because they went to the finals and they said we're gonna get even better, So they added a Malcolm Brogdon. They added other pieces, They added Danilo Gallinari. We haven't talked about that. I think that's a really good pickup because he can do multiple. Like off the bench, Danilo Gallinari for the money they're paying him, like a minimum or like $2 million. That's a really good pickup. So I love this for the Celtics. They didn't say that we went to the finals, so we'd be like complacent about it, and we'll see if we can get back there. They said we're gonna get even better, with the picks they got better.
Mm-hmm.
I love the Derek White pickup mid-season. That was game changing for them. Off the bench, Derek White played huge in the playoffs. But one thing I did want to add, my fault, but Robert Williams is to me amazing.
Mm-hmm.
That man That man is a great lob threat, a shot blocker. The one thing, obviously, yes, he's injury prone, but I think he can develop that. Like he's got this offseason, take his time, rest up. But we can't just speed past Robert Williams. They got the big three, obviously, Marcus Smart, Tatum, Brown. Then they got a might as well call it the big four, good enough to be a fourth piece, Malcolm Brogdon. And I feel like Robert Williams, they're just gonna up that level, that interior defense and that versatility. I feel like Robert Williams can guard the perimeter pretty well too, especially Grant Williams coming off the bench, Derry White, man.
Al
Horford.
Al Horford played his mind off in that finals in that playoff series. I don't know, he was looking like he was 25, but yeah, dude, that team was so deep, and Robert Williams is the X factor for me. If he plays like he did when he was healthy, man, like
that's one. He was hurt too in those games.
Yeah, he was playing like that hurt.
He was blocking everything. So the Celtics are really scary. Again, we're gonna have to see in the finals, or if they ever make it to the finals again with Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown leading.
Lakers gonna be there next year though.
Always got
where like top 3 pick or what?
No, like Kyrie, LeBron, and AD are going to be in the NBA Finals, competing. Washington's not going to be there. Washington's not going to be in the playoffs, though. In the playoffs.
Kevin Durant, if you're watching this,
I heard KD's on the way, though.
Bro, if KD comes to Washington, I might just like record myself dancing for.
He's gonna visit his old house and then come to LA.
That's one. Okay, before we go, this man Kevin Durant said that he on a radio podcast said that he gave it all to Washington in high school. Like, what does that even mean? I don't know. This man KD is just so weird.
KD and Kyrie are too crazy, bro.
Yeah, there's something out of this world.
They're built different.
They're very much built different. But thank you guys for watching. Please make sure to like, comment, subscribe for more NFL and NBA content as we try to push out as much fire content out there as possible. Rosin and name before we go, you guys want to say anything?
Hey man. Hey, just another video, bro. Got better takes than Raza. Raza improving his knowledge, I can see. But he's not up there with me. That's all I gotta say.
Raza.
All I was gonna say is who won the game we played,
NBA trivia.
Kyrie on the way.
Okay. Also, make sure to follow us on TikTok at brownboyssportstalk, as Naeem is our TikTok manager. And we're out. Peace.